You can start.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Nerds Unlimited. I am SonicMTD, and I am permanently banned from a Dairy Queen in South Dakota for attempting to use Canadian money. I am joined alongside my two co-hosts.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that story, please?
Okay, so me and my family went to basically Mount Rushmore, and so when we finished done taking our touristy photos and we were driving through, I needed an ice cream. It was summer. I wanted a nice summer treat. And so I went to the Dairy Queen that was right there. And I walked there, and I had American money on me. Mm-hmm. I could have easily done it, but I wasn't thinking at the time. And I'm like, I'll order a medium-sized Blizzard. And I attempted to pay, I had like a 20, right? And the woman behind the counter was so aggressively angry to the point that I was using Canadian money. She just stopped, looked at me and said, "Get the hell out of my restaurant. Like, get the hell out of this Dairy Queen." And before long, you know that scene like in The Simpsons or in like popular movies where they have like someone who is like drunk thrown out of a bar, like they grab you by the belt and they toss you out? That was essentially what happened. And I'm like, well, fuck.
That is amazing.
And she says, "Never come back here again." And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get back in the car with my mom and dad. And when the shock has worn off, I will try to find some decent food. But in the time being, I am scared. Let's get out of here.
I got a question about you guys going to Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Like, did you take the this is what I've always wanted to do if I went there. Mm-hmm. Like, were you I don't know if you were at the right distance or not, but did you get a photo of you, like, putting a finger up, like, one of the president's noses?
No, and the reason why I didn't do that was because I was, like, there with my mom and dad. My parents are very strict people, and they don't allow much of me being a jackass that you all know and love. But, yeah, I was just trying to be as civil as I possibly could.
Like, they didn't turn around at all?
No, they didn't. It was just primarily smile for the photo, and then, okay, so now what do we do? We were on a trip. We were driving from Vancouver to Burlington, Ontario, because we were all moving back there. I was probably 14, 15 at the time. Anyway, that's not why we're here.
So, good story, though. That was really...
Riveting journalism. Today we've got a lot that's on our plate. We've got some stuff dealing with Marvel. We've got some stuff dealing with DC. And I just destroyed your phone. We've got some stuff involving anime. And the most important, the one that we're going to lead off today is we're going to be talking about video games. Particularly the controversy surrounding Warner Brothers' Lord of the Rings Shadow of War. That is going on involving them. Now, I don't know if you've heard about. Have you heard about the story at all?
To be honest with you, no, I haven't actually.
Okay, so
Is it orcs are people too?
No.
Orcs are people too.
I first heard about this story from Jim Sterling on the Jimquisition when he launched This Monday Show, but I was digging more and more into it, and Warner Brothers ran into a bit of problems from gamers. Primarily what happened was they launched a new character that was supposed to basically... Have you played Fallout? Okay.
No.
In the event you're getting completely and utterly decimated by the foes, there's a percentage that a random character shows up and basically saves you in the nick of time. It's part of your luck charisma skill or whatever. Bouncing off of this, they made it so that way this one character called... I think it's called Fogart, the Orc Slayer, magically shows up. This character was based off of a developer that was part of the team whose name was Michael Fogarty, who had passed away as a result of a long-going battle with cancer. Now, the issue involving this was primarily the fact that it was DLC. Warner Brothers Interactive said that $350, so it's a $5 DLC character, $350 of the funds that were raised would go to Michael's family in dealing with the loss of their loved one. And
sounds fair.
When the trailer dropped, though, it said that, and then there was a small little blurb at the end, and it said, valid only in certain states within the United States of America. And when that was leaked or whatever, everybody was sitting there going, well, if this is going on in certain states, where's the rest of the money going? If we buy it in the UK, where's it going? If we buy it in Canada, where's it going? Is it lining Warner Brothers' pockets? And everybody just immediately started looking at Warner Brothers going, so you basically turned this into a cash grab.
Replying. Fair enough.
You basically turned what should have been a loving tribute to a developer into a cash grab. How dare you? And Warner Brothers is trying to sort of double back on the damage that is being dealt, but it's definitely not helping them. And for sure as hell, like how popular opinion, how your relationship with the general public matters. It definitely does not make me want to pick up Shadow of War when it drops.
Well, if you look at it this way, right, we don't know exactly what funds they're going or where the money's going.
Yeah.
But I think they kind of need it. Mm-hmm. Warner Brothers has had some pretty tanked movies in the last little bit, and they can use the funding.
Oh my god! I know where that jab was directed to. It's just like he gave me that sly look. He's like, "Yeah, I'm talking with Justice League, motherfucker."
No.
By the way, I have a huge rebuttal that I forgot.
Not Justice League, but like
DC.
Just the DC live action movies as a whole.
Suck it.
Right? Like Suicide Squad.
We're talking about a video game.
Yeah, I know,
man.
but I'm just saying, like, they could use the money.
I'm just saying that when it comes to companies, primarily with video game companies, the trust of the consumer is what values the most. You can't just instantly gain that back when you burn the bridges, and when you go and do something without being thorough, without explaining properly what exactly your plans are and what the general public sees, you can't gain back a lot of that trust. For example, I have yet to play a single video game made by Electronic Arts after Mass Effect 3. They have screwed up my trust so much to the point where the only time I will ever touch something made by EA is because I need to do it for my work with Always Right Reviews. I have not touched anything since.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's... I'm just going to give you my point about this, then I'm going to dive into why.
Okay.
Okay, so I love the Shadow of Mordor game. I thought it was awesome. Yeah. I'm probably still going to pick up the new copy, but it's just a DLC, right? So with it just being a DLC, just don't buy the DLC. Like, it shouldn't... Like, they should just make the full $5... Like, the $5 go to his family.
I agree with that. Yeah,
like,
they're making enough money off the game alone that the $5 for the DLC for this one character should just simply be, there you go, family, done.
And in all honesty, like, they're...
Or just generally half the proceeds will go.
Social media too, as well, right? Them doing something like this, word of mouth can tank them, like destroy them
easily.
And that's actually a valid point that Jim Sterling brought up on the Inquisition. The problem is that it's a AAA developer. It's Warner Brothers Studios, right? They've got the money. They needed to think very clearly before they started putting out the PR stuff for this DLC. They needed to factor in, is there anything that we can do to make sure that nothing will blow up in our face? And they're not thinking about the backlash.
You know what, in all honesty, they should just stop fucking doing, because this bugs... You know what really grinds my gears? DLC being announced before the fucking game is released.
Yes.
Because why are you not releasing a full product? Give us, like, make a DLC something that we will want. Like, we're like, oh, like, it would be really cool to explore that character or this character. Like,
well, the problem is what they're doing is they're releasing 3 different types of games, right? So you're gonna have your entry level, which is like $80, your mid-tier level, which is $100, and then you have your top tier level, which is like $150. And the $150 is the one that comes with everything. The second one comes with a little bit, and then the first one comes with like nothing except for the core game, right? So what they do is they're talking about all of these DLCs that you can get, but people who purchase like the mid-tier or the last tier or like the highest tier are going to get those DLCs based off them purchasing right from launch a week early.
Okay, so...
But still though, why?
I agree with you. It's stupid. It's completely stupid.
I'm going to go briefly into my years as a games journalism to explain some stuff for the audience and for you guys. So ever since the creation of the digital marketplace in terms of DLC, it has been an excuse as a way to cut back on taking what would have been a normal part, an essential part of a video game, and possibly making some more coin off of it, considering the fact that games eventually depreciate in value, as well as with the use of used games. You want to cut back on that. And sometimes, for example, what Rocksteady did with Arkham City is they made it so that way the Catwoman DLC, you can only get it if you got a new copy. Now, the funny thing about that was that blew up in their face because I was one of the people who got Arkham City and had a blank Catwoman code, had nothing that was on it. How it was before the invention of the digital marketplace, game companies did not have the ability to go back and patch stuff that was for the PS2 and for the Xbox and for all the other consoles that were out. So what they released, they had to make sure that it was bug tested, that it was ready for development. Because if they launched a buggy game and there was a lawsuit, they would have to spend money to replace those copies. Mm-hmm. And it would affect their bottom line. They did not have the ability to go back and patch. With the ability of the online marketplace in terms of the PS3, the Xbox 360, it allows developers to add new content to it, which is great. If there's a game-breaking bug, they can fix it. But then you run into the issues of video games being stuck in alpha or beta testing and never really doing anything. Mm-hmm. Parts of the game that should be part of it are now blocked behind paywalls and DLC. So at this point in time, it's sort of a means between corporate greed and actually trying to do stuff to cater to the fans. Game developers want to make money.
And I get that.
I would also throw laziness in there as well. Like, if you know, like, they went through all that effort then on PS2 to make sure that game was perfect before they released it, why stray away from that formula?
Well, because I'm going to say it boils down to one of the original gaming markets that first started was more on PC. Mm-hmm. Right, because they did that. They've been doing that stuff for decades on PC. You get a game, and they had the opportunity once it was connected to the internet to sit there and patch it and add mods to it and add characters and so forth and so on. Mm-hmm. Right from there, and add expansions to each game and stuff as well. So our original consoles back when PS2, Xbox, we'll even go as far as back as N64, right? There were PC games that were half done from the jump, right? And a lot of these games, even though they're made on a computer and stuff like that, and then put into CD and then sent out, so forth and so on. On a PC game, like I have tons of friends of mine that are like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy it on PC," and half of it's patchy on PC before it even gets to console, right? So it's a gift and a curse, like. I'm happy that it comes out on PC first because they could fix all the bugs or most of the bugs before it comes on to, console. But because of PC and, PC gamers wanting more and always wanting more, and again, corporate greed kicking in saying, well, we'll give you more, but you got to buy this expansion to Counter-Strike and you're going to get this.
I have like this awesome comparison I just thought of. It's like ordering a pizza and not being cooked and then being like, you want dipping sauce? Yeah, that's 70 cents extra. Yeah. It's literally
exactly
like ordering food at a restaurant.
Like there are games out there that honestly they are incomplete unless you go out and buy the DLC. Yeah. There's a video game out there called Azra's Wrath, which honestly does not tell you how the game ends until you go out and buy the DLC. Now, there are games out there, for example, The Evil Within. They have a brilliant DLC where you're playing as the female investigator that is accompanying with you, seeing things through her eyes, the Ada Wong to your Leon Kennedy. Yeah. And when playing through hers, she takes a completely different storyline route that adds new light, new depth into it, and honestly feels like it is a fantastic standalone adventure. Yeah. I applaud
those types. I definitely agree with you. Anything that's a DLC that gives me another campaign, I'm down for. If it's just one character for a fight mod, I'm like, maybe
$5 for Red Hood.
Now, granted, some of this is subject to par depending on the game. For example, I went out and paid for DLC for Injustice 2, where I picked up Starfire, Red Hood, and Sub-Zero, and I have become a huge fan of Red Hood now. Oh my god,
he's amazing in that game, is he not?
I'm sitting there going, he kills people, but I sympathize with him. I know.
I agree with you for that. For fighting games, DLC, makes sense in a sense. Like, I remember back in the game Street Fighter 4, and the DLC for that was like a whole bunch of different skins, and I was like, I don't feel like I need to be paying for Ryu to look blue. Right? I'm like, I'm cool with him in his normal white gi, red, and I'm cool with that. Right? I don't need to pay for extra for different outfits.
Like
right?
it was different stages. Even like Super Smash Bros. I think they did a really good job of how, I don't know how they did their DLC. You could vote for the character you wanted in the DLC.
That was fantastic.
Do you know how many times they're just sitting there going, Sora. 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 It's like the Deadpool game where he's like 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
It was like they made sense, and I don't think I've ever met a person who's bought Smash Brothers that's ever been disappointed with that game.
Oh, it's phenomenal! Like they did it right though. They released their game and then they announced DLC and they said, we'll let you choose what you want into it.
And then we got Ryu in the damn game at some point. I'm like, who voted that guy?
Shovel Knight won the vote.
Right?
I do want to say, I want to drop a suggestion, Nintendo. I'm not saying you're ever going to watch, but if you ever do want to do a extra character for Super Smash Brothers, please make Travis Touchdown available. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That'd be
Nintendo
sweet.
Exclusive was one of the sole reasons why you bought the Wii. Have you played No More Heroes?
No.
I have not personally, no.
We are going to correct this over the course of my friendship with you guys. But awesome. Until that time comes,
yeah, so
keeping in gaming news, Kingdom Hearts 3 news. This is what gives me a glimmer of hope, guys. So Disney usually, like, when something big is up and coming, Matt's like, Kingdom Hearts 3 is not coming out. Like, you give me that look, like it's not happening.
Here's the thing, I could not give a damn about Kingdom Hearts anymore. Like, I have seen it.
Like, I need to get out of the way of a lot of fire here. I feel like some swords are going to be thrown.
The tension. She's like, it's not coming out.
No, it's for me. I
don't give a damn.
I could not care about Kingdom Hearts anymore, and the reason why is because I was someone who didn't play the first. I jumped into the second one. I enjoyed what I got out of the experience, and then after that, it's like we're announcing Kingdom Hearts 2.5, Birth by Sleep, all this other stuff, 2.8, 2.95, 2.9678, the quest for more
money. The next
money.
one's coming out is 3.2. They're just going to skip 3.
Yeah,
And in the right hand, we have Matt defending the honor of all gamers versus the one person who wants Kingdom Hearts 3 to start. We have Trevor, and your bout.
No, I have friends that want to see Kingdom Hearts 3. Same goes with people out there that want to see Half-Life 3. But it's just, there are so many different interpretations.
I remember talking about Half-Life 3 at some point.
There's so many different installations into the Kingdom Hearts series to the point where there is no way a normal person like me who's not already invested will be able to keep tabs, because it's like, okay, what do I need to know? Well, let me describe the story of Kingdom Hearts 5 years later, and that is episode 2.76.
What you can do, actually, there is a final mix they released on the PS4 that has every single game in it.
Okay.
So if you want to waste your life, there's a way to get caught up. But with that being said, the only thing that I was pumped about is they're actually showing Kingdom Hearts characters at like Disney land and stuff like that. So with that being said, whenever they have something big coming out, they always put those characters and stuff in there and those parts.
What if it's just people
tease?
Cosplaying as the characters at Disney?
It was an amazing cosplay, and kudos to those people that made those costumes, because they were legit.
You need to come down to Mid-North once. It's like 15. You'll see 15 of those key holder dudes like easily.
We'll see how it turns out in terms of Kingdom Hearts, but at this point I'm just not invested in the series anymore. If the game comes out, if it gets to the point where fan demand asks me to review Kingdom Hearts 3, then I might consider throwing my hat back in the ring.
I'm subscribed to your channel. I'm just going to comment on all your videos.
Yeah, on all my videos. But at this point, it's just I don't care about the franchise anymore. But I honestly hope that this new installation is a turning point for the Kingdom Hearts franchise and will bring fans back into it and might even bring me back to the forefront of possibly enjoying the series. But at this point in time, I'm tired.
Your kid's going to go at Kingdom Hearts 2.5, blow the dust off the cartridge and go, Dad, what is this game? Have a seat, you little shit. I got a story to tell you about 2.3, like, 2.4, 2.5.
I would honestly be sitting there and be like, no, you're shit. Get the controller. You're not
look at this and be like, was there ever a number 3? And you're like,
That's when you give a kid a backhand.
Oh, good Lord.
there was supposed to be a number 3.
We don't talk about that.
We never talk about how there was no number 3.
We never talk about the third one. That's the Spider-Man 3 rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I liked Spider-Man 3.
And so there was 2.
I'm sorry, Matt, but you've been voted off the island.
Okay, fine.
You are the weakest link.
It's okay. You guys can stay on that island with Ollie and Tom Hanks from Castaway. I will be going to where there is Wi-Fi connection and actual reasonable
We have
discourse.
Danny Rand.
Right? Like, we have Danny Rand and the immortal Iron Fist on
Protector
me
of
and
Kung
you.
Lung.
Protector of Kung Lung on me and
Sworn
you.
enemy of the hand. God damn it.
He's Iron Fist, but his sworn enemy is the hand. I'm just saying.
Oh man, imagine if you realize that, eh? It's like the hand makes the fist.
Oh my
Therefore,
God!
I am the hand. The hand is me. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn's a man.
You had to quote Ace Man.
I had to. Anytime I get an opportunity, I love it. Einhorn's a man.
Anyways, Destiny 2 is launching this week.
It actually launched Tuesday night.
Those pre-orders.
Oh, you're right. Pre-orders.
pre-orders.
Anybody
Pre-orders.
who pre-ordered got to play on Tuesday because, we're pre-orders. And pre-orders get to play a week early. And blah, blah, blah.
All the reviews I've read for it, though, guys, it's the exact same game with a number slap beside it. So what was your thought on the original Destiny? And is this something you'd be interested in picking up or not?
No. I didn't even pick up the original Destiny. Peter Dinklage could not save that project. He was bored as shit. It was basically a watered-down version of Borderlands minus any of the charm or anything that could be done to save it. It wasn't until maybe the developers started putting patches that they were like, okay, we made mistakes. Here's Nolan North. Let's see if he can bring something back. And I'm sorry, but when it gets to the point you're throwing Nolan North at a project, I love Nolan North, but it proves that your idea for the original project was horrible. You weren't thinking it through, and I don't have any trust for you in the future installments.
Well, I was very hurt as an Xbox player. Mainly because this was one of the games that, pretty much... Right, it really hurt me a little bit because
okay,
Bungie and 343, they had a split, and when they split,
Young Prince,
they kind of did similar games, and Bungie made a game that was very similar to Halo, and then Halo made a game that was very similar to, 343 made a game that was very similar to Bungie, and I noticed that they pretty much walk the same path at this point in time, where they're pretty much almost the exact same game, different make on it, or different
it sounds like
paint on it.
Parents that have split up and they're trying to impress their kid in the middle.
That's exactly what it is. There's actually a really good funny video. I don't know who did it, but they literally have 3 guys. They're sitting there and oh my god, it's new outfits. They run over to this crate, open up the outfits, start dressing themselves in new skins and stuff after they killed a monster that looks very similar to the Covenant. And then who shows up? Master Chief in his freaking thing. And he's like, oh, kill to a Covenant guy. He's like, oh wait, that wasn't the Covenant. Oh wait, that looked like the Covenant. Oh, that's the Covenant. And then it's just a whole shitstorm because he's drunk, and then they end up getting their outfits too, and he's like, yeah, it's just pretty funny.
Matt, you look so confused, but please pounce on that comment.
Yeah. I'm just saying, regardless of how you feel about Destiny, I'm pretty sure Bungie will bounce back. Sorry, the moment you were talking about it, it's like, oh, puns.
Yeah, but honestly, when they first launched that game, I kind of had high hopes for it because the trailers were really, really they were very captivating.
Yeah, but that's just the Suicide Squad syndrome.
No, and I get that. That was the reason why I would have purchased it. And I had a few friends that did buy it. And generally, I kind of if I see a few friends play it, I'm like, oh, maybe I should pick it up because maybe we can all play together. But I never bought it. And because of all the patchiness to it.
Yeah.
When the first game launch, right, when they launched on Xbox, everybody was having problems. Everybody off platforms was having problems afterwards, and it was just insane. There
was one source to this problem you're not taking into consideration. It's because you have an Xbox.
You're so funny. You're so funny.
I want to say, so when it comes to games that are coming out, you can go off of I'm going to wait for my friends to make a decision and tell me whether or not it's good, but it doesn't change the fact that everyone else out there has individual likes, has things that they specifically like that other people don't. I have a friend of mine that absolutely adores the Assassin's Creed franchise to the point where on his forearm he has a tattoo of the assassin symbol.
See,
pretty sweet.
I would agree with him. Up until 4.
The fact of the matter is, it's like he absolutely loves the franchise. He loved Destiny, and I'm sitting there going, I absolutely respect you as a person, but I've tried the Assassin's Creed franchise, and I just got bored after Ezio Auditore.
Same.
Yeah.
Once the main character Damien died, I was like, I don't feel
Desmond.
Desmond, thank you. Desmond. When Desmond was it Miles, right?
Desmond Miles.
Thank you.
Also voiced by Nolan North.
Hey. Once he passed away in the 3rd game, which I was like, wait, what? Okay, now wait, and I played number 4, and I'm walking into it. And I like the only thing I liked about the Black Tide was actually number 3 was the Connor. So it was the native guy, which I enjoyed that one. And then Black Tide. After Black Tide, I stopped playing because, again, patches, problems. Like, you didn't get a full game. There was a point in the beginning of the game where you're walking beside a eyes and a mouth with a
Black
character.
Flag.
It wasn't Black Flag.
It was Assassin's Creed.
No, it was Unity.
Okay, sorry.
Unity had that problem. Black Flag was okay. Like, it didn't have any problems with it. It was the DLC that had some patchy problems, which was fine. I was cool. I didn't want the DLC anyways. I had the fun game of being a pirate and smashing ships, and it was great.
Yeah.
I just did the free fall thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because I thought it was pretty cool. And I got bored of it because I was just like, I don't have the attention span for games like that, unfortunately. But do you guys want to keep going about games?
Yes.
Do you guys want to jump into MCU news?
Let's jump into MCU news because we haven't talked about
At all.
some of the stuff. Yeah.
So Punisher images have been revealed. The first trailer has been revealed. We finished The Defenders. I don't know if you have yet, Matt, or not. Sonic.
I haven't.
Have you seen the Punisher trailer?
I have seen the Punisher trailer. I have watched a good portion of Daredevil season 2 where they introduced the Punisher, and I'm sitting there going, how are they going to handle Frank Castle? And it's getting I've gotten to the point where it's like Matt is chained to a brick, sort of a chimney, and basically Frank Castle is sitting there and they're debating morals and ethics between both of these incredibly different people, anti-hero, a hero, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh my god, we're honestly having a legit sit down where they're talking about how the other person thinks they're wrong, and they're not doing it through violent discourse. They're legitimately trying to have a battle of intellectuals and trying to prove and justify their way of action to the other person. And I'm sitting there going, I love this. I absolutely love this. And then it just shows the Punisher killing people left and right, and Matt trying to stop him. But I'm sitting there going, I am so fascinated by this two conflicting ideologies, both of which thinking they're doing good things, both of which can be moderately justified, but also moderately proven
two different
wrong.
ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, two different ends of vigilantism.
Yeah.
Like how far is too far.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm like, this is some harrowing stuff. I would absolutely love to see more of this. And with The Punisher coming out, it's definitely making me want to get off my butt and finish season 2 of Daredevil.
Definitely. Finish it. You're going to love it. One thing you'll know about Punisher, not just from the show, in the comic books, he's a force of nature. You literally just try to direct him in that direction of what he's going to. You trying to get out of his way.
Right? Secret Empire 2, he sides with Cap, and he's in Hydra, and he literally just mows people down.
Yeah, they call him in. He's like the cleanup crew. He is a cleanup crew in himself. That's one thing I love about him. You sit there and he's like, hey, we need you to do something. Do it. He has his own line of Max Comics, which is, if you guys know what Max Comics are, they are generally the mature rated ones with tons of gore, nudity, that kind of stuff, right, in the comic itself. And the stuff he does, it's insane. He has such a high pain tolerance. He's not even, what kills me is that he's not even superhuman, but he's able to stack up against superheroes, right? People who should be easily just throwing him all over the place, he's taking them down.
Frank Castle.
Right, Frank Castle, right? That's one thing you'll appreciate when you're playing around, when you see this character and you watch the show and you watch and you happen to dabble in the comic books or anything like that. He is that type of awesomeness.
It raises a good point into Frank Castle because he's not really a superpowered person. He's driven by revenge and being he's sitting there going, I have a mission. I am going to focus on this. It is purely by force of willpower.
Yeah.
It's sort of a mix between Max Payne minus the drug problems and John Wick.
Yeah.
No, it's fair enough. I'm just really excited because Punisher's one of my favorite characters. I like how he just doesn't take shit. He just gets shit done. It was really interesting to see him explored more because I thought like he was in Daredevil, but like in all honesty, I would rather have saw or seen more of him than Daredevil itself in his own show.
And that's one thing that why they're giving him his own show. It was because of the crowd take, like how the fans loved him in this season.
Because originally he wasn't even supposed to be in it at all. It was supposed to be Jason Statham as Bullseye, and they're like, Jason Statham's like, oh, people like that? Well, I want more money.
Yeah,
and they're like,
Colin Firth. Oh, sorry. No, sorry.
No, Jason Statham.
Jason Statham's supposed to be the new one.
Sorry, Bullseye. I kept thinking about the Ben Affleck version of Bullseye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
But, you know, considering the popularity of Punisher, I want to see it, but I know it would be the most ridiculous thing. The crossover.
Oh, him and Deadpool?
The crossover between the Punisher and Riverdale. Do you remember? They had a crossover, Archie Comics and the Punisher, where he's chaperoning their dance that he's having, and it's just like him with like a AR-15 just sitting there practically. You haven't seen this? Oh my god! I have out comic book geeked the comic book geeks. This never happens. Dogs and cats living together in harmony.
To be fair, us comic book geeks don't really consider Archie a comic book. It's more of a digest.
I will still.
We'll give Matt this one. We'll give Matt.
I know.
Everybody gets one.
Everyone gets one. So with that being said, let's jump into. Cause we're gonna save DCs for last because I have some stuff to say to AJ.
Okay.
So we're gonna go into our other news section. So the Magic School Bus is being reborn on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed that they didn't keep the same animation style. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted it to be the exact. I wanted it to be campy as all hell.
It's still gonna be campy.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be even campier than original, right? Because we got like a good 20 years of jokes we've been sitting on and waiting to use.
But I want to see. Right. What's the teacher's name again? Is it Miss Kerfuffle?
Miss Frizzle.
Frizzle. I was gonna say Miss Kerfuffle. I don't know where I'm from. But Miss Frizzle. You guys remember the episode where she's bench pressing like 300 pounds? Just like chilling out there.
And then it's all about another episode about muscles and stuff like that. I'm like, I love her.
I'm like,
we can clearly see who was not the fan of the Magic School Bus when you didn't remember the name of the main character of the show, Miss Frizzle. There's like 100 fans out there that are going to vie for your blood if they ever watch this episode.
Cool.
But
he's like, bring it.
I wanna say, with Netflix doing this interpretation of the Magic School Bus, first of all, I want to be like. I want to be perfectly balanced, but I can't change the fact that I was a huge fan of the original Magic School Bus. Animation style has significantly, drastically changed over the course of when the original run of the PBS version of the Magic School Bus is. In regards to that, they're going to adapt with the times. They're going to modernize it. Sometimes modernizing animation might not be the best way of doing it. Take Teen Titans Go. But
oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
My son loves that show.
It's okay.
And it bugs me that he loves that show.
Okay,
I love him for it, but it bugs me. He's like, but Dad, look, it's Teen Titans Go. And you see the stupidness that happens. I just watched a fly episode and I'm like, why are they flies? What are they doing?
It could be worse if you walk in the backyard again.
But anyway,
right? He might as well be. He might as well be.
But anyway, with regards to this new trailer that's coming in, they've updated the animation style, and the first thing that I noticed from the photos is it's not the Miss Frizzle that I know. And through watching the trailer, it's not Miss Frizzle that we know. It's her sister, her younger sister, who is coming by. I don't know if Miss Frizzle is.
Did you watch the trailer?
I didn't know there was a trailer out. I only saw the image, and I was like, oh,
that's a trailer.
That was a video. That was a video.
So the beginning of it starts off with Miss Frizzle, and she shows up and with her class, and she brings her class outside. And the sister shows up just shows up, right?
The sister arrives. Now, I don't know fully the story as to whether or not she was maybe a new teacher going on the scene or what was going on. I hope that it's not Miss Frizzle saying, I'm going to retire or something like that. Maybe a momentary vacation.
I feel like she's passing the torch, though. Honestly.
Yeah,
it's the younger sister, and she even, like, this Miss Frizzle says, she's like, oh, well, as my sister would say, right, or my older sister would say, blah, 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 and she does it. So it's definitely going to be a passing of the torch.
I'm perfectly okay with the passing of the torch to the next generation. I mean, having the new teacher that's similar yet different, just like how the show's going to be. It's not going to be the same animal that you knew growing up in the mid to late 90s on PBS because there was nothing else on TV. It is a new, faithful adaptation that is paying tribute to the show that you know and love while realizing that it's catering to a now more modern audience who never got to experience the joy of the original 90s series and trying to make it just as impressionable and just as awesome as the show that we all knew, grew up, and loved.
Like, do you remember the episode with Raffi when he was sick?
Yes.
Right, and then they're just like, "Oh, Raffi's sick. Looks like we can't go on the trip." They're like, "Nope, we're gonna take the class to him." And then I'm just literally jumping into him and literally looking through his respiratory system and his whole cardiovascular, his whole body basically. It was the body episode.
I remember that episode.
Yeah, it was good. I remember that, the sick episode. So many good episodes. Although the intro was slightly changed, and that made me kind of go, "Aw." Because you know the part where it's just like, cruising on down Main Street, feel relaxed and feeling good. Next thing that you know, you're seeing octopus in the neighborhood, right? They skipped that part, and I was waiting for it. I was like listening to it, I'm like, octopus? And then, why is there a blank? What's happening? What? Surfing on the Soundwave. I'm like, no, they forgot the octopus in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Like, no.
First of all, we've watched roughly about a trailer that was like maybe 2 minutes long, and there's a lot of exposition they want to get across. So they don't know if they
bring the octopus back in the neighborhood. Bring it back. I want the octopus back in the neighborhood.
Hashtag AJ's fascination with tentacles, why he needs to delete his internet history.
Hey, I use incognito.
Ooh, smart man.
Yes.
So next thing to jump into, I guess, would be Colin Trevorrow is out of Star Wars Episode 9.
Yes.
And Rainn Johnson is going to continue. So why do you guys think Colin was kicked off the project? Any insight, guys?
I honestly, when I read in a little bit to it, I was kind of surprised what happened. Actually, I'm going to go back to the article because it threw me off for a bit of a loop. Because the guy has done some pretty good movies prior, and So, what do you think? Have you looked into the article?
I actually haven't looked into the article, but all I know is in regards to filmmaking that a lot of things happen behind the scenes. A lot of characters end up getting ditched just because of either, inner office politics on the movie set, or maybe they don't have the money for certain things, or maybe they've done and filmed a film and then just realize after some of the scenes were done, this character doesn't work. I mean, in terms of Hollywood style dick moves, right? Look up just about anything on the internet. You can find horror stories about last minute changes that completely alters the focus of the film. So in terms of this, I don't know why he was fired. I don't know what the situation was. I don't know how this is going to impact the film. And most importantly, it's not going to impact my judgment, because at the end of the day, when I see it in theaters, I'm reviewing what I see.
And this is true.
And so as the complete package as a whole, if this new change comes to help the film, applaud. If it comes to hurt the film, you will be crucified by me and everyone else that will review your film.
Yeah. Tons of Star Wars nerds out there, Ruby.
I'm just glad it wasn't a Josh Trank situation with Fantastic Four. Got halfway through production and then just decided they didn't want to go with the vision anymore and went out of their way to just fuck him over. So with that being said, they got to the point where he was trying to shoot, and he would, the producers would just be harping him, and he would lock himself in a tent and be filming. He's like, I'm doing my vision. You agreed to my vision.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Well, I mean, because
I kind of wish they did.
I'll pitch you.
Because Fantastic Four was shit.
Well, the first half of the movie was his vision, and then the next half was all them just stepping in and being like, nope. Okay. Sue Storm has 3 different haircuts and 2 different hair colors in the movie. Have you noticed that?
I never watched the movie. I will never, ever watch that movie.
It started off amazing because it started off like a horror movie. They're freaking out, why is this happening to us? I like the premise of that. I thought it was different. Yeah.
The first family of Marvel Comics was the first family of Marvel Comics. Nice, colorful, proving that a family can work together with superpowers. At the same time, be lovable, be a face of Marvel. Not to be dark and all twisted and, oh my god, my hair, and oh my god, I'm invisible, and oh my god, my fire, and yeah,
Okay.
no.
I wanna basically try to play devil's advocate to the Fantastic Four movie, because you're talking about the last one that was made by Sony. Okay, so the director of that, I've forgotten his name, but he was the director who was known for doing Chronicle, a dark, gritty superhero movie. This was his artistic...
Chronicle was awesome. I really enjoyed Chronicle. That scene when he was destroying cars, I'm like, I would do that with my powers. I'd be like, catch.
He wanted to do something similar. He wanted to do something similar. The studios stepped in and basically said, well, we want to make some changes to it. At the end of the day, fans were not happy with what happened, and they weren't happy with what they got. But in terms of... Anyway, we've diverted. We were supposed to be focusing on Star Wars. I mean, once again, we don't know what we're going to get until what we're going to get. Who knows? Maybe the Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian version of the Han Solo.
So just kind of going back into this too, one of the things you're wondering why exactly it happened. Well, they said that Trevorrow and Kathleen Kennedy, who is the Lucasfilm head, became unmanageable. The relationship between the two, and Kennedy, who's already been through one director firing / replacement of Han Solo spinoff movie, was not eager for a sequel and tried to avoid this decision. That makes no sense. Did I read that right?
It sounds like she just goes around cutting heads.
Basically. So let's hope that they don't fire anybody else.
We will not. Yeah, once again, we do not know until the film
just get J.J. Abrams back on the bill, man. Like, he made a good movie. Clearly. Come on.
I'm getting sick and tired of... You can only handle so many lens flares.
Yeah. Michael Bay's still around and we get all these explosions. Why can't we deal with a little bit of lens flare on a good movie versus explosions on a bad movie?
I wouldn't let Colm or whatever Bay near anything that's worth decent. Like, he's killed Transformers so much that it's just like, yeah, you can have it, man.
But he makes money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. Studio execs, they do not care about the artistry behind the film so long as it gains back the money that they've invested in the project. At the end of the day, Warner Brothers, all these different people, Marvel Studios, Disney, they want to make the money back and they want to make it tenfold in promotional materials and toy sales, video games, all that different revenue in terms of the film.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's sure, that Transformers will always have toy revenue.
Yeah.
Always.
Sure, that's what saved Power Rangers as well.
Yep.
I know.
It's the main thing is that even though it is in the entertainment industry is the main word.
It's business.
It's a business.
Yeah. So
jumping into DC.
Are you ready?
Well, we're like
okay. So we had last.
No. Okay, we're gonna get through these topics first.
Okay.
We're gonna take a big time. Matt, if you want to go, like when we get to the section of the time where I just shit on AJ. Feel free to grab a water, anything, popcorn, because this is gonna be great. But first off, we're gonna talk about our 2 points that are on the docket.
Yep.
We have Gavin O'Connor, who directs Suicide Squad 2. He's the director of The Accountant, and he also did Warrior, 2 amazing movies that I love.
Nice.
I don't know, have you guys seen those yet?
I've seen parts of The Accountant. That's the one with Ben Affleck where he's like an OCD hitman or something like that, right?
Autism.
Yeah, autism. Thank you. And The Warrior 2, isn't that? What's that about?
Tom Hardy's in it, and I forget.
Oh, sorry. You said Warrior 2. I thought it was a sequel to that one. Okay, yeah. Okay. Then yes, I know what you're talking about then. Cool.
So I like the tone. I like the direction. I hope that they just let him do his thing. That's my thing. Like, I want direct. Like, I see movies where these directors are just allowed to do their thing, and they're great. I just don't like Suicide Squad, the first one.
They knew the movie before it even hit theaters.
Yeah, they're like, oh, more comedy, more just like pitch the product that you want to do and let us enjoy it. It don't like.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes when it comes to filmmaking. As I said before in my very first episode back when we were known as that other show, there's a lot of things that factor in. There's the video editing, sound composition, the performance of the actors, the writing, the direction, as well as how it's also being focus tested as well. a lot of these things come together and make projects. Sometimes the rough versions of the film need to be looked at and basically sit there and go, we didn't like it and this needs to be altered. A classic example, and also one of my favorite films out of the past 5 years, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Edgar Wright. The original direction of that film was supposed to be him ending up with Knives Chow, because at this point, Brian Lee O'Malley had not created the ending to the Scott Pilgrim universe. He had absolutely no clue how it was supposed to end. He's like, I don't know, I guess he'll end up back with knives. They screen tested it, showed it to focus groups, and they didn't like that. They didn't like how the entire journey of him trying to run back and get Ramona Flowers was turned into all for nothing in the end. And so they asked him.
They added, if you watch the DVD version, they added a deleted scene that changes that.
Yes.
So that was one thing. They have an alternate ending, which exactly gives the like, you get both, best of both worlds. So you get Knives Chow or Ramona Flowers. Yeah. You choose.
Well, the problem, the major problem with the film was that how Knives Chow was portrayed, she was sort of over clingy, like all the damage had been done because this is what her character was in the film. So the ending that they had, it didn't change up like 3/4 of this is what she is. He's obviously trying to win back Ramona. It's being set up to be like that.
We have somebody who was casted as Raven already, right?
Yes.
And then Starfire?
Yes.
Was there another...
Nightwing just dropped.
Nightwing, but was there another girl that got...
There's still a shot for me.
There's still someone else for...
They haven't announced Beast Boy yet, but they just announced Alan Richardson is cast as, I think it's the Hawk, which is weird because he's been like hinting and alluding that he's playing Shazam, so it's pretty much just confirmed that John Cena's doing it, probably.
Talking about Scott Pilgrim, there's a couple of characters I feel like I wish that Knives Chow, because she seemed to have some pretty decent martial arts, they should cast her as Katana.
They're pretty sweet.
That would pretty...
Katana's not in the Teen...
She's a Teen Titan.
Really?
Look it up. Not in the one, not the like the one we watched on cartoons or anything like that, right? But we still have Terra that needs to be cast at some point. We need
Slade.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're gonna bring Cyborg from Justice League over to this? No, they wouldn't, would they? Man, oh man!
First of all, the movie hasn't even come out yet. You don't even know if he's good.
No, because they're not gonna merge freaking DCMU with TV DCMU. Like, everybody likes to keep them separate for some stupid reason.
It would be cool.
It would be great because then he'd be lighter. Like they said when they reshot Justice League, he's supposed to be a bit funnier, add a couple jokes. Which, you know what? I understand his pain because dude has no dick at this point, and you know.
You don't have a dick?
Hey, man.
You know his pain? You don't have a dick?
I would feel his pain.
You don't have a dick?
Harrowing comic book journalism.
I'm just saying, I feel his pain, man, because I would hate to have my stuff just blown off like that.
Are you
okay?
Varys?
No, I'm
Merman?
No. What are they called? I'm an Unsullied.
They have.
I am Unsullied.
Okay. I'm for the sake of Cyborg getting it on.
Hey, man.
We have the ability to bring a man back from the dead, making him entirely anatomically correct and having the ability to fire sonic booms from him.
You're right.
I got the sonic if you got the boom. Teen Titans, I love you. But I'm pretty sure he would have a backup.
Nah, man, he's not worried about that. He's like more machine than he is human.
I'm pretty sure that the man side of him has already taken that care of that. I can't believe we're having
on with like
this
USB
discussion.
ports, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's what you like, eh? Take this hard drive, why don't you? Oh yeah."
All I gotta say is that I heard that one of the things they changed in the Justice League movie is to open boom tubes, he goes, "Booyah!" like in the comics.
Yes.
And it's just
Booyah!
It's like
yeah. Hey, come on. Every Teen Titan episode with Cyborg, any cartoon with Cyborg in it, Booyah is in his lingo.
Yeah, but like it's just like can't just open a boom tube.
No, man.
Can't just.
Come on, Flash even says this whole little... I love Flash in this movie, by the way. I'm really excited for him in this movie. I think that's probably my most excited portion.
I just run away and push people.
The thing Cyborg did such a good job with his work on Teen Titans, the original cartoon series, that to the point is he is the voice actor for Cyborg. Like they can't
have anybody else. Yeah. Even for Teen Titans Go, he's still there.
Yeah.
Every other character I've seen him, even when I hear his voice.
Exactly.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Same
He's
guy.
done such a harrowing job, and unfortunately, I wish that they did the same thing with some.
Even the Justice League, the Lego versions as well. I just realized that he's also in that as well.
Yeah.
Same guy.
It's cool, the consistency.
Yes, I love the consistency. Like,
Well,
that's one
because
character.
Jim Sterling brought up the idea when it came to voice acting that it's not just you can swap in a new character. No, it's the voice actor becomes the character for us. We can't imagine any other voice actor doing Cyborg other than who they currently have.
Just a quick example of that. Anyone enjoyed the Splinter Cell series?
Yes.
They changed Blacklist. Blacklist. That voice actor wasn't Michael Ironside, and I was like,
it's not the
doesn't
same.
feel the same. This doesn't feel the same.
But sorry guys, we've come to the part of the show where AJ's gonna cry.
Am I? Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
So last week, if you tuned in, AJ shit on me for saying that I want Justice League to be dark. He's like, well, you know, it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be that way. He referenced one volume of the New 52 Justice League and then made the mistake of letting me leave and think about it. I literally got in my car and I was like, oh, I'm gonna shit on him next week. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, Volume 2 literally is about a guy who gets, his whole family gets affected by the radiation of the mother boxes, gets leukemia, and then kills his family and everyone in it, and then...
As you do.
But there's no jokes in that volume?
Little to none, to
okay.
be honest with you. Yeah,
none?
Literally,
no
he
quips?
turns the whole Justice League against each other.
Yeah.
The main story is about this guy trying to take down the Justice League for cursing his family. And
At the end of the last few pages, when everything comes together, there's no couple quips or little jabs.
I'm talking about the overall tone of the story. Okay. You were talking about the overall tone of the story as well. You were saying you don't need it needs to be lighthearted. It needs to be this. It needs to be that.
No, I'm saying it doesn't need to be completely dark. They have jokes in it.
Yeah, that's not what we were arguing about though. We're arguing over the overtone of the whole thing. And I'm telling you, there's one example, and then literally the one after that, Throne of Atlantis, this is going back to extensive damage of everything. They literally sink Gotham and Metropolis.
Okay.
Like,
but in Throne of the Atlantis, it opens up to. If you're talking about the movie or talking about the comic? Okay, but in the movie,
but that's not the
he gets stabbed and he's like, I was wondering what would happen if I got stabbed.
Yeah.
Lighter.
But we're talking about
Based
the
off the
source
comic
material. We're talking about the source material again.
Yeah.
Literally, the overall destruction. You were talking about this guy, literally, like, you see Clark Kent and Diana on a date, and they look over and they're like, that's a tsunami. Like, yeah, it's a really big tsunami.
That's not funny?
They're just talking, like, we gotta do our thing. But, those two characters are straight to the point.
Yeah.
So with that being said, those two storylines, there's example, you referenced one, I'm bringing more references to you. Again, you were just like, yeah, I give you this. Justice League, the first volume of New 52 was extremely light. And then they dove right back into what they normally do with how dark it is.
Okay.
So I'm saying, like, sorry, you just gave me the mistake of letting me go home.
I know. It's awesome.
And then...
See, this is what I like. I've hit him with something that made him think for like an entire week for him to come back and be like,
no,
AJ...
It wasn't even that. I literally walked into work the next day. I'm like, I gotta go talk to AJ. It's literally the morning after. I'm like, dude, you need to read this. You need to read that. You need to read this. You need to read that.
What needs to happen is like both of you guys need to like go away for a week and then square off in like a intellectual debate between.
I know, literally, we're gonna bring like all of our comic books together. I'm gonna bring like a big tub and be like, okay, issue 52 on this page and this page, this blurb, blah, blah, boom, and he's be like, oh yeah.
No. I'm gonna show up my own Mobius chair. Just be like, is that all?
Is that all?
Is that all you're going to bring to the table? I'm rather disappointed.
I'm just going to be sitting in the corner with like a bowl of ramen. Yeah.
I just say Justice
Sean,
League.
out there, who do I slap?
Line them all up. We'll do it all at once.
I've got no horse in this race.
But you know what? For Justice League, I have high hopes for it.
I just want it to be good at this point.
Exactly. I just want to go into a movie and come out of the movie going, I enjoyed it.
And I just, like, I know a lot of people too complain about destruction and all that crap. It's a comic book movie. You can't, you gotta roll with it. Like,
It's not the destruction, it's the portrayal of it to the point where, once again, so I don't know if you've watched this, but we're going to run down memory lane. I absolutely hated Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I hated it because the destruction that was being shown was overindulgent. It made me feel disgusted. It made me feel nauseous to the point where it was bringing up imagery of September 11th, 2001, so harrowingly to the point where the ship, Zod's ship, comes down and starts ripping up buildings, and it shows people on the ground, and it shows people getting pulled up and being slammed down repeatedly over and over and over again, to the point where I'm sitting there going, this needs to stop. This needs to stop now. I am getting sick in my chair from what I'm watching because I'm so engrossed in the film, to the point where I was sitting there going, this was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, but you see, on our part here, I got this one. There's superheroes that can pretty much rip the world apart. So to me, if a dude can like do this and a guy goes skipping across a lake, I'm gonna see some buildings get ripped up.
And
it's not the building. It's not the buildings.
It's the imagery.
It's the knowledge of the collateral damage that is being shown.
It's all right.
I understand that and I respect it. I know. To a point, this might skew your opinion of me a little bit. I was glad they showed I didn't want it to be to that extent, but I'm glad they showed how Zod did not care about humanity.
Well, yeah, that's his entire motif. That's
to be fair, I'm glad they showed all that collateral damage and everything like that. Because realistically, you have these colossal, pretty much gods, right? Just going around trying to save the world, but there's going to be damage along the way. Like
I know there will be damage along the way, but it doesn't change the fact that the major message that they were trying to convey in this story was primarily the same goes for good triumphed over evil, and Superman can't be the squeaky clean Boy Scout. Sometimes he has to get his hands dirty. That's perfectly fine, but the collateral damage was not used to justify a point, wasn't used to convey a message. It was for shock value rather than bringing stuff along. Now,
I got a point here, actually, and this is going to be very hard for me to say. Okay. So, Man of Steel, yes, we had a lot of collateral damage. One thing I did enjoy was the beginning.
You sound like you're in so much pain when you're saying this.
The beginning of Batman v Superman, because it showed the other side of that, which why I enjoyed Ben Affleck's portrayal as Batman, because as a person who is a vigilante or used to be a vigilante coming back to vigilantism, he saw somebody who is being treated as a god, acts like a god, doesn't really care for the world, or at least so he thinks. And then he wanted to do something against that.
Here's
exactly,
the thing.
Perception.
Here's
right?
the thing. I absolutely agree with that. And actually, Ben Affleck doing his part is what we should have gotten in Man of Steel with Clark. We should have gotten that. Instead, what we have is the superpowered being who is a monster. Practically, like to the point where I'm sitting there going, he is not doing anything to justify his super-powered heroics. He's not doing anything except dealing with a old blood feud that he brought to this new world. And even to the point where it's like, shouldn't I have saved him? Like, I shouldn't have let him die. And then Pa Kent is going, yeah, maybe you should have. And I'm sitting there going, this is not what we need from a superhero movie.
But with that...
The Batman stuff was a reaction trying to at least bring some...
Who directed that movie again?
Zack Snyder.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's why.
But another thing, too, though...
He went too far.
Yeah.
He went way too far to the point where it wasn't comfortable. I get that you're trying to make things dark and gritty, but you should have known the line. And Man of Steel... Batman was trying to at least bring some saving face, because a lot of the complaints were, oh, it's too dark, it's too gritty, let's bring Batman. I liked Ben Affleck doing that as Batman, but we're not talking about Batman. We're talking about Man of Steel.
So I have a question for you. So if he would have stopped to go and save everyone else, Clark, and stop the bodies bouncing and everything, what would have Zod done? He would have just turned around and killed more people. So he was focused on
stopping a bigger threat to minimize the
more collateral damage.
Exactly.
It's like cutting off the arm to save the body.
Here's the thing. It's not...
You don't like how it was depicted.
I don't like how it was depicted, yeah. he should have. There could have been many different ways that you could have gotten around it. Either do different camera angles, something else. Don't show
Use different imagery.
Don't show the people on the ground to let me know that this is what's happening. You could have done, for example, in Justice 2, they have it where Brainiac invades Metropolis, and it shows buildings being ripped out of the sky, but it doesn't show the collateral damage. You know that.
But and then same thing can be said for Avengers, right? When you watch Avengers 1, you see like the Chitauri just land on and everything like that, shooting people around. You see people running, but you don't see anybody get hit.
I kind of feel like I know where Matt's going with. You don't see the people getting blasted away.
Yeah, and it does show the Avengers. For example, it shows Steve Rogers running into what appears to be a bank, trying to save everybody, and he's like, "Everybody, get out of here!" He gets blasted through a window, lands outside, smashes into a cop car, but he ends up like everybody around the city is doing what they can to try to lessen the damage, try to stop more damage from occurring and saving people. What we needed in that scene was at least some form of attempt.
But they're trying to make it dark, though. That's the thing.
They
like
need
with Man of Steel. They're trying to
make it too dark, it's not enjoyable. Here's the thing. I love rice, but if I just take an entire thing of hot soy sauce and just dump it on top of the rice, like not even having a consistent measurement or so, at this point you can't enjoy it. It's just soy sauce.
That's why we brought Joss Whedon into Justice League.
We don't know.
Yeah. We had two.
We don't know how this is going to turn out.
I'm sorry, I'm still all for it. Because Batman v Superman, you had literally they said the similar dark undertones continuing on with the movie, right? Jimmy Olsen, who you don't even find out who Jimmy Olsen is until later on.
You watch the director's cut.
Until you watch the director's cut, but you find he gets shot in the face.
Yeah,
right through his camera. Just click, see ya. Yeah. Right, and that's a huge character to kill off.
Here's the thing: I did not like Batman versus Superman.
Nobody really did.
The only part of the movie that I liked was Batman trying to save the people in the middle of this giant metropolis thing. So pretty much you're just sitting there going, yes, that horrible fire was devastating, the amount of loss of life, but hey, over here, the firefighters put out this completely separate fire for 15 minutes before it burned down the rest of the building.
This is true. Okay, another thing too, which would have been
Steel too. Sorry, it's an origin story. He doesn't know the scale of his powers. He doesn't know how to handle all this as well, right? But again,
that's okay.
this comes down to. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to keep this moving on past this because we've been standing on this for a while. It just comes down to a difference of taste of how the imagery was shown.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
We're not, no feelings hurt.
Yeah.
But it's just a difference of opinion.
For an origin story, maybe they should have actually shown Clark at least trying. He could fail, but show more of an effort. Because once again, walking away from Man of Steel, and I know this is all subjective because I have been watching the Twitch chat so far, but it was way too bleak from what has been one of DC's most colorful characters with a long storied history. Mm-hmm. Superman is the type of person who will literally wait, and this shows up in the comic books, has shown up at someone who's about to jump off a building and commit suicide and sit there and talk with them for hours and hours and hours on end for an entire day.
Yep.
And he looks at them and goes, at the end of the day, I cannot stop you from what you want to do, but I will sit there, I will listen, I will be there for you, and if you decide to take a step down,
but he's also snapped Batman's neck.
Huh?
But he's been this close to snapping Batman's neck.
Yeah.
And pretty much busted Flash in the face.
For what should
did bust Flash.
Yeah.
For what should be a origin story, a first exposure to Superman to an entirely new audience, it shouldn't have been as desolate and bleak as what we.
But in the comics, they kind of made him he's like a borderline.
They're trying to make him go in a direction to keep up with the films.
Exactly.
But here's the thing: in regards to comic books, there's different interpretations, different variations.
Oh, there's
different
52 different Supermans.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. But
once 52 universes.
Yes. Yeah. So sorry, guys, we're still going on this, but Matt, we're just gonna end that right here because we tend to talk about this subject a lot, and it gets pretty heated.
I'm not. I've drawn my line in the sand.
I'm waiting for the brass knuckles to come out.
I know,
so,
right?
but going back to you, Matt, I want to know what's new and all. I want to know what is new on Always Right Reviews?
What's right with Always Right Reviews?
Yeah.
Hey!
That's right.
Well, actually, over on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SonicMTD, capital S, small O, small N, small I, small C, capital M, capital T, capital D, I have launched my 7th episode of Always Right Reviews, where I covered, for example, it was Occupus Strip Undead and Undressed for the PS3. It was released on the PS4 and the PS Vita, and it is all kinds of insanity.
Yeah, we watched the review a couple weeks ago, and it's actually hilarious. When you get a chance, watch it. Yeah, muy caliente.
I am working. I am instantly working on the next episode. I will not be spoiling anything, but the one thing that I will say, because I always like leaving clues, it is a anime series that has impacted me incredibly, and to the point where I cannot sit through all of the episodes without being brought to tears. And I absolutely love the series, and I hope that you guys will love the next episode too, because it means a lot to me.
For sure. As for anime, me and Trevor actually are trying to slowly trudge the trenches of a piece.
One Piece.
Yep, of an anime. It is
The hardest part, to be honest with you, like the show's good. It's the opening. It's getting the opening.
Come along, enjoy. What was it? You sing along all your hopes and dreams. I know I totally backed you, Sean. Please forgive me.
You're gonna get slapped.
I know.
And then, sorry, the song at the end too, where it's like, I'm just a boy, or I'm just a girl, and I'm alone in this world. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with the anime.
Yeah. You know what's one thing about anime, it's funny, just quick thing, is they always tend to sit there and do super hype music at the beginning and then super sad movie. It's like, I'm a girl, da-da-da-da, searching for the treasure. Da-da-da-da, you're like, okay, next one. The next intro, dude, is even worse.
Really?
Yo, man. Ooh. So when you get a chance, it's episode like 40 or 50, it gets the new episode. Yeah.
But AJ's happy I'm watching an anime. And with that being said, guys, we're gonna jump into what you're reading. Give us a shout out. Let us know what's going on. Secret Empire just ended. For those who have not finished it,
I love he's like, he's like, you haven't finished it. How many issues past 9 are there? About 4?
1.
Oh, there's only one more issue?
One more issue.
Oh, shit. Okay, so sick. So I don't have much to read.
All right. Good. So I want to just very briefly wrap up. If you want to see anything else that I'm involved with, type my name into Google. I'm pretty sure Kelly has my name located right at the bottom. So just type that into Google. You'll find my YouTube. You'll find everything that's involved.
Capital S-O-N-I-C, capital M, capital T, capital D.
And I will absolutely look forward to hearing your comments and anything that you want to talk about. I'm always down to chat.
And always check out our other shows. We got a whole bunch of other shows on the lineup as well. We got Split Decision happening on Sundays, as my voice cracked. Welcome to puberty.
Whoa, wait. Could you say your voice split there?
Hey! Oh! Ting ting! We also got Road to Ranked, and we also got Quest Accepted as well. Road to Ranked is on Fridays, and Quest Accepted is Saturdays, right?
And Split Decision is on Sundays.
Yeah, so we got lineup straight from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And don't forget, guys, to also check us out on social media. We have a Twitter at Nerds Unlimited and also an Instagram at Nerds Unlimited to keep you up to date on all your nerdly needs.
Exactly. And if that's not good enough, check out North of Nerdy on everything.
Everything.
Because we got it all. North of Nerdy.
But anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode, and until we see you again next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm SonicMTD. This is AJ and Trevor, and until we meet again, later days, good night.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Thank you guys very much for tuning into our issue of Nerds Unlimited. Make sure you check our previous issues up there. Make sure you click that beautiful subscribe button because we want you to subscribe. And if you want to see what else we've been up to every Thursday on Twitch, you can catch us live up there. But better yet, once a month, this guy does something beautiful. Check it out over there. Thanks.